She said that they were in love.
We gonna go on a picnic?
However, Monty was aware of Fulio had cheated on her, thus it was unsuccessful. Moment to return the favor as soon as he was declared dead, she began posting. More often, thirst traps. Here's what no one was aware of man's sex. Compare the passing of Fulio with Blanmani's response to Fulio's connections were often cloaked with a great deal of concealment, even if some knew. The ladies he dated seemed to be so renowned for being so reclusive that when his girlfriend revealed his passing, many people felt. She pursued Blanmani with clout. Came into the limelight when she revealed the details of Fulio's passing on. In the moments after Blanmani's compelled to change her Instagram handle to private because of an abrupt increase in traffic as enthusiasts scrambled to get as much details about her from her profile. Nonetheless, Blanmani continued to like X to convey her intense rage and sorrow. I wrote, "I all stole my boyfriend. I will not be the only one to despise you." A day later, weeping, Blanmani got used to X once more to express her annoyance at her lover Fulio's passing. The heartbreaking message says, "This is so unbelievable. I simply woke up, grinned, and attempted to encircle my guy with my arm, and discover he wasn't even living or the next." These open displays of suffering, in my opinion, and rage demonstrate the close relationship she accompanied by Fulio and the tremendous loss she sensed that despite the flood of assistance Blanmani has also encountered. Unreasonable hate speech that simply serves to her pain at this trying time. While the majority of social media users have been understanding of her experience, others have condemned her for attempting to use Fulio's passing to increase her notoriety's business. Some have even been very harsh by interrogating her love for Fulio and wondering why she decided to take action on the day of his passing. From the shadows, the two remained their intimate bond, but in the days after his passing, without question, Fulio's passing has dealt a severe blow to admirers and close family members, in particular taking into account the circumstances that resulted into the Saturday deadly shooting. 22nd Fulio, Charles was his true name. Jones was celebrating turning 26 years old. A resident of Jacksonville had organized a night, happy and enjoyable, surrounded with friends and family as the first location. There was an airman for this party, and Fulio's Instagram narrative caught scenes from the evening that show him and his group having fun to the maximum, but the festivities were canceled. Brief before the authorities stepped in, Fulio's Instagram story states that when cops showed there, the event was canceled. Requiring everyone to depart later indicated that the partygoers had expanded above the highest limit that was permitted on the grounds of the airman is unfazed by this setback. And his entourage made the decision to move the conclusion of a holiday celebration. It was decided to relocate the celebration swiftly, and the team intended to go on the celebrations without further disruptions that were vitally maintained, keeping supporters informed of all of his moves. That specific evening and even distributed. For almost everyone, his location was an unusual action by Fulio 1. It turned out to be a deadly error, but the suffering rapper wasn't. That day, he was himself, as he was evidently giddy with anticipation as the evening developed in one specific. Fulio's Instagram picture reveals his enthusiasm as he made his 26th, the most memorable birthday celebration ever, and the vacation inn with its additional regulated setting seems to provide a secure area for the duration of the evening's activities as the company settled down, become used to their new surroundings. The atmosphere remained cheerful. Fulio, ever the tenacious individual, seems committed to, notwithstanding the earlier, enjoy his birthday. The rapper's life has been disturbed, characterized by several difficulties and tight calls, because he had publicly disclosed on social media in an April Instagram post. Fulio has written of the many attempts on his life, as well as the sad. He has suffered setbacks on an Instagram. After the release of his most recent album, Fulio Resurrection penned these last words. A few months and years of my life have, sadly, God has been attempting to send me many attempts at messaging me throughout my life. Continue to live, I continue to lose my brothers. Graveyards and jails, yet I am aware of the highest level of doing everything with a purpose. I was able to walk again because of him. Sadly, this aura of unbeatability was coming to an end on June 23, a Sunday. Around 4:40, the night's ambience took a violent and sinister turn in the police department got a 911 call, stating that there was gunshots outside. The holiday. Law enforcement officials were sent to the location right away after. When the cops arrived, they were greeted by the second terrifying and chaotic sight in the parking lot. There had been dotted with gunshots, proof of a ferocious ambush among the broken cars with glass and gunshot holes were discovered. The rapper who had survived, Fulio, so many before efforts to take his life, was declared deceased at the third site. Other people who had accompanied him were hurt as well, and they were taken to the nearby hospital where they were discovered to remain constant. The information of the loss of Fulio echoed across the hip-hop scene and beyond. Fans and common friends and artists were left in bewilderment and lamentation. In the days after Jacksonville was shot, Police Chief Lee Burgaw held a news conference to discuss the research that we are doing day in and day out to find the suspects. Chief Burgaw said, "We're still here, generating a few quality leads and are working closely with Jacksonville, the Sheriff's Office, throughout the state federal prosecutor, the ATF, and the FBI. I can assure you that we will to be investigating and apprehending in this instance." The community's response to the passing of Fulio of deep sadness and unity on the social media campaign #JusticeForFulio started to trend as followers asked for clarification and accountability in the middle of the confusion. Blanco Man's posts continue to be important discussion topic in many groups, with several individuals attempting to identify the Blanco's first venture into the. It all started with her social media accounts presence. She began by distributing snippets of her everyday outfit selections and beauty regimens on websites like her Inherent Appeal on YouTube and Instagram, and relevant material soon attracted to the individuals who followed her were attracted to her genuineness and the manner in which she with ease integrated style with material. Blanco's capacity for communication with her audience on an intimate basis distinguished her from several other influencers. As her number of followers rose, so were her chances, and brands started to see her impact and made contact with. These partnerships are not only increased her visibility, but strengthened her standing as a reliable, influential person in the field. As a social media personality, Blanco has established a company that appeals to a wide audience, but she has high ambitions past the boundaries of social media. Blanco, as seen by the media, is a professional hairdresser providing a variety of services at Hair's Wig Killer, her salon. This has an official Instagram account and Facebook profiles. In addition to the social networking profile demonstrates that Blanco is adept in providing a variety of hairstyles, such as braided without knots, tribal braids, cornrows, box braids, facts, and Blanco braids lemonade, as well. Allegedly runs a store at 23 Boutique. But what makes Blanco the happiest about her life and can't seem to quit discussing is her son's postings on X often provide a peek into her parenting life and how much enjoyment she seemed to be deriving. He once tweeted, "It's a clean house. Taking a shower and spending every nighttime is my favorite time to unwind." While attempting to maintain her private life, the kid of Private Blanco is now a contentious because there have been rumors that Fulio is the father of the child. After the not surprise, the rapper Blanco has decided not to comment on these rumors, instead choosing to protect her kid from all the commotion taking on in the. Interestingly, not all of the name Fulio's female companions have managed to keep your privacy at this level. Fulio speaking about privacy. Girlfriend shot of Fulio's ex-boyfriend's blind child who saw first-hand violence has resisted being. Surprisingly, it wasn't via a tweet or a quick Instagram photo that Beau and Baby took on YouTube outlining everything that she's seen among the gunfire, as per she was driving to Band when she and a companion were assaulted by someone. While Salent rode a bike, she seldom regretted not paying more attention to him, incurred some wounds, and ultimately undergoing sutures.
They rushed me in again, and a whole bunch of doctors all around me. They looking at me, trying to see where I got hit at.
Goodness, she left the situation, and Fulio was immediately beside her after the event. Fulio described the insane things can get to. Why such would be the target of his rivals. Near him while you converse about bootleg. Kev started out by stating that he barely avoided the assault.
My car got shut up.
Your car got shut and your girl was in the car, right?
Yeah, I wasn't in the car. She was driving.
Resuming, Kev continued that the history of the hood beef. Nonetheless, Jacksonville rappers seem to have increased the ante by firing at each other without holding back, Fulio said, because for them, it was just a typical day.
Well, I ain't gonna cap it, to be honest, ain't no lie. Like, it's like, in my city, nobody don't give a
Long before Fulio passed away, in fact, was tainted by gang conflict and shootings that had an impact on his pals. And the artist never really liked his family. Family life, even if I don't agree with the living, his mother Sandra was shot 8 times. Times a mystery that was unknown until his dying, the grieving mother shared with the world via a message in which she advised her kid many times. Yet he never paid attention, not even as she was battling to survive. After receiving a gunshot wound, as per, I kept in touch with you about our dispute, cursed at you, and pleaded with you to take items down, and after I took 8 shots, I saved their lives despite the fact that mine was also altered in the same post. Sandria said that she knew there were a few imposters around her son, a tale that I alone am able to tell since I believe you are aware of the realities from the fakes. The only mom that keeps things authentic is me. While the majority of people are fully aware of occurred with their own sons, whether or if it's connected to them, he believes that time will tell. Moreover, Fulio's mother informed followers that she plans to tell the whole tale via a documentary that will publish while the inquiry is still continuing. Suggests that there may be a competing group. Sheriff TK, an influential figure in Jacksonville, stressed that they are keeping an eye out. I won't identify these organizations, as he said. They are aware of who we are not willing to put up with any kind of reprisal, or we're going to see revenge. We're going to be aware of what is happening, such as more people were shot in the vicinity of Fulio more often than he could recall, and the rapper from Jacksonville either posted about it or tied up elucidating though. While he wasn't thinking about the thug, he was worried about the ladies in his life. Adored even if Fulio tended to be reticent. He didn't talk about his relationship with his beau. Would you mind hanging out with her and getting saw PDA Manny's post via. On Twitter, the pair can be seen cuddling together. In one of her movies, she proudly displayed. Fulio got a facial tattoo in her honor. The rapper's eyes were fixed on anything different as he engaged in his phone was still blazing with body ink. With no holds barred, Monty branded that he got it on his hand as well. Thrice in my 4 lifetimes, despite the seeming. The connection the two had during Fulio's rapper's way of life included relationships, or any kind of relationship with other ladies. On one such instance, he created a video with a fan at the conclusion. The two arranged a picnic prior to their launch. Off their suggested date, Fulio proceeded to inquire about her previous romantic involvement.
Last time you had a boyfriend?
For real, like 2 years ago. He broke up.
Nothing further was stated about the two individuals. One thing we are certain of is that Fulio always had a knack of winning over the female judges. From his birthday message in which the party Fulio was being held in a group of stunning women who lustfully gushed, sending him a sadly, this was going to be an unhappy birthday. His last encounter with the women as, that same night, gang, death came calling. Rivalry stole Fulio, the source from her. Of Jacksonville's gang rivalry may be dated to the time frame indicated by social turmoil and economic distress in many of the neighborhoods in the city. Jacksonville, Florida, is renowned for its stunning beaches and a lively culture. Furthermore, had a gloomy side where crime and poverty are pervasive in interesting setting in which two young males, Kay and Charles Jones, also known as Fulio, Young and Ace, a bullard, started their journeys. Young and Ace and Fulio both expanded, raised in the harsh areas of Jacksonville, where there were few prospects and the streets had a powerful allure. At first, their paths intersected in the local rap culture, where there was rivalry, fierce yet generally cordial, but when their status increased, so did the tension between them, and their hatred between Young Ace and Fulio increased. Notably in 2017, a year that will signal a sea change in their life and a great deal of people's lives. In May 2017, Fulio's cousin Zion, then 19 years old, in his house, Brown was viciously murdered by a shooter. Detained 19-year-old Thomas, connected to the ATK gang of Young and AC, was subsequently taken into custody for Brown's murder. This prompted an assault in retaliation by the Mall gang was slain by Fulio, which led to a song being performed on Youngin, Traven Bullard, Ace's brother, and two of his companions, Devin Smith Jr. and Royale. In June 2018, the group was Joe Groover was shot during a drive-by shooting while Youngin out of a Jacksonville restaurant. Ace was in the vehicle as well and was severely wounded, but escaped. The event gave him intense emotional wounds and a fierce thirst for vengeance. Young Ace and his group thought that they and his cronies were responsible for the assault, despite the lack of hard proof been put forward to bolster this. Say that this conviction was sufficient to start a dispute that would only get worse, aggressive in public throughout time. The journey by the shooting was more than simply a personal loss. For Young and Ace, it served as a trigger that transformed a brewing conflict into one complete war. The most renowned of the assaults during that time occurred in 2019. That caused Fulio to pass away. Adrian Gaynor, or Bibby, is the younger brother. At the age of 16, he was shot at an apartment complex in the Montree neighborhood near Young Ace. Rapper Quazo's Alley was subsequently accused of murder. The arrest, after a few months of publishing questions, footage in which he boasted about the fatalities, taunted a number of KTA members as well. Fulio discussing smoking BBI after of the shooting. Youngin and Fulio, Ace started using their music as a tool, transforming their vendetta into a personal. With a public display, Young and Ace unveiled a song that brutally criticized Fulio's departed pals of his track With Whom I Smoke. Got well known on the internet not just because its controversial lyrics, but also for its a surprising excerpt from Vanessa Carlton's Young and Ace's song T000 Miles lists the names of Fulio's acquaintances who passed away, making a hit song out of their deaths. Chorus the striking difference between a joyous words that were violently melodic formed a viral sensation, escalating the conflict and highlighting their concerns even further. Shockingly lethal rivalry. Fulio reacted almost as fiercely into the song When I See You features him, makes fun of Young and Ace's brother's passing and companions. The audio-visual for the tune is really eerie, with Fulio in attendance at the burial places of a flagrant act of disregard for the departed. It not only startled, but also attracted many views over the years that have. After the publication of these diss songs in which both rappers have been singled out, particularly in Fulio, violent assaults have been attacked many times in the previous 3 years, yet always managed to survive. But his good fortune ran out last on as another blow to him on his 26th birthday ultimately took his life this time. Roughly still, that wasn't successful put a stop to the intense rivalry there. Speculations of potential retaliation, assaults after Fulio's death, and if his girlfriend's warning that she might cry if her adversaries are any indication, then perhaps there's still turmoil in the works. Escalating discussions of violence and retaliation is the strange behavior that has occurred about Fulio's Instagram account in the last few days. Someone functioning under Fulio's IG cover account has been exchanging content, including, even if it was a trolling joke, Youngin Ace said that the Instagram account was. Additionally, the entire thing has been compromised, produced a number of conspiracy theories, spanning from Fulio's continued existence to discuss how his account is being managed by a close friend or family member, in particular, Blanmani, Fulio's girlfriend. Some admirers have referred to Mani as the offender's recent social media posts. Her behavior suggests that she is on a quest, yet there's really nothing to prove to back up this assertion, the first being aware of Instagram. Everyone was shocked by the account takeover. On June 28, just 5 days after following the rapper's sudden passing, fans were startled to see fresh action on his formerly inactive social media page. A hacker posted a Fulio movie online, boosting his page on social media using the caption "Nothing to do with no gasoline" assured in the video. Fulio pleaded with his supporters to help his people in developing a haunting feeling of deja vu for his followers. Nonetheless, the ER wasn't there earlier. They posted a nasty emoji remark that day on the new diss tune game by Youngin Ace, which seemed to be directed against Fulio. This bold action only served to fuel the flames, to which Youngin Ace replied with a sarcastic and mocking combination. Young Ace, who had an established feud with Fulio, sent you a response to the remark. Lingering with me, buddy, and then two emojis that make you chuckle and the ironic comment. In an instant, I adore you for Eva, because by his acts, hacker rekindled the rivalry. Even as the hacker, even from beyond the grave, kept up the cryptic postings, and fans' remarks left them feeling bewilderment and terror by the strange behavior. Fulio's Instagram page developed a popular subject in the virtual community, with several conjectures on the hacker's identities and motivations. The mysterious of the postings just deepened the enigma, leaving followers in a frantic search for answers after. The hacker continued publishing after a little pause. On July 2nd, via the account, when a fuzzy picture of Fulio's supposed murderer emerged online, submitted by the user, comments on Fulio's Instagram page. The image with the phrases "demigod" and an emoji, a purple monster, and the word Fulio, commonly used throughout his lifetime. Fulio used the phrase most recently in a no-jumper interview conducted earlier in the year, conversing with the late rapper presenter. His audible claiming that he could never die, he said, "And I'm not going to. I'm a demigod. You can't get me anywhere." Soon after making the remark, below the photo of Fulio's suspected murderer. A video that the hacker posted shows the interview with Fulio on Instagram. The caption, "I'm a demigod. I'll never die." Now, the post has more than 100,000 views, about 7,000 comments and likes with. The majority of followers are perplexed by the event mentioned in one of the comments. "Are you still with us, BC? They created dissies, and they lie to claim that you have 37 times. A different admirer said, "Are you dead or not?" It's not like I'm attempting to find it amusing that the comment section also crazy about different conspiracies, with a large number of consumers sticking to that they wouldn't accept that Fulio was a deceased conspiracy theorist wrote. "Go look at the he's not dead" footage of him lying on a stretcher on his way to the ambulance in which he was seated. If you're deceased, they're not placing you in a different ambulance. Said that there was no autopsy report or balloon release. "I'll think you've left." When I see a Fulio's funeral, the Instagram account kept posting mysterious remarks and messages from fans, and fans kept speculating about who may be responsible for the activity. There were a variety of possibilities to the utterly weird, each contributing a fresh layer to mystery. One's development fans' favorite theory is that the Fulio's been taken over by cops, using an Instagram account to try to trace down his murderer. This theory was traction as a result of the abrupt reactivation and the tactical significance of some admirers say that they think the account is being used by enforcement to assemble data and entice the suspects into disclosing a different theory. Is it possible that Fulio's mother is the one? Sharing from his well-known account for her openness and directness, Fulio's mother has made statements about her son's existence and the circumstances of his death, but the posting's eerie and mysterious tone not entirely in line with her typical style, causing a lot of followers to doubt this theory. In addition to the hacker's communication is geared for one of a younger generation that shared a close connection with Fulio that only lasts. Actually, Blanmani was one guy, but as per her typical evasive manner, she has not to respond to these rumors. In place of, she keeps lamenting her loss while concealing threats for Fulio's murderers via her social media action. There is undoubtedly more Fulio updates as the inquiry progresses. Keeps coming in first with it. Please choose the card that is shown on the display.